Alrighty guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we have a 2006 or 2007 Impreza. It's been all STI swap. Our mission with this is to make it not look like this. It's like mega crazy wrinkling, cracking paint. Some stripies on the roof and all sorts of, I'd assume, like sanding kind of gashes in it. Once upon a time it was navy blue. This, that, more paint cracking. She was like carved, more carving down there. The trunk is so whack, even though it doesn't look whack, it is whack. Keyhole's shaved. The wing is exploding. More whackness, more bonus whackness. Drip. This is like super. And yeah, just overall very custom. The paint job is kind of like a golf ball finish. It's hard to tell with the white, but it is definitely very rough. So what we're gonna have to do is start out by flattening all of this paint that we have on here currently. From there, we will get into some filler primer. Hopefully we can get this car back into shape and looking good. Here we are underneath of the car. It's not horrible, but it's also not good. So the rear inner section will need to be replaced. And this is all prior to hitting it with a hammer, which this rear inner, not too bad. A little bit of a perforation there, but I'm sure it's crusty. Rest, decent. Outer rockers, front rocker cap, all not good. So I end up just ripping this whole outer rocker off. And there's along the other one. And okay in the center, but might as well just take it all off because there's no sense in leaving the center and fix the front and rear. All right, with the rear wheels off, quarter panel is not the awesomest, but it's also not the worst. Pretty bad. And then around the fuel cap area there, it is really unusual. I don't normally see that kind of rust. And then over to this side, quarter is so, but then again starting back there, and it looks like it's already been cheesed before. So the rest in here is like metal. All right, we'll start with marking off the rockers here, and we're gonna chop these suckers off and see what they look like inside. Now we've got most of the rocker chopped off here to assess. There is some spots where it has corroded away. This normally doesn't make its way to the bottom pinch weld, but this used to be metal there. In the rear, it's not much better. This is decent. As you can see, it is starting to corrode away from the pinch weld. So we're gonna chop this out, chop the inner out here, and then from in here, so there's still a good jack point, we're gonna weld in like a drop down plate. And again, same thing on the other side, not the best, and it has corroded away from the pinch weld, so this definitely takes away from any potential in jacking up the car there. You'll just kind of crush it. So up in here where the diff transom mounts, again, we're gonna remove this plate, weld some new nuts in there and new sheet metal along there as well. And then with the actual inner structure here, we're gonna go ahead and wire wheel this all off, and then we can seal it back up. And up into the front, looking no better than the rear or the other side. So same process up here. The front rocker caps as well we'll have to reconstruct. And then obviously the rear, because there's normally supposed to be metal there. This is all pretty flaky. The pieces now epoxied on the inside. We've also got the body all epoxied on the inside. So I'm first gonna start with the gas door hole here. Then work my way out, get all the patches on the car. Alright, now we've got all the panels welded up. Next I'm going to go ahead and grind down all the welds here. From there I'm going to mix up some black epoxy and I'm going to spray it over all the seams of the welds. Again, anything I disturbed in my previous epoxy, like inside the panel, I'm going to be spraying all that again. So this is just some added preventative here. So you got the front patch there. And then this is something I'd like to mention. Before you go ahead and do your body work and your nice paint job, don't forget to roll your fender lip. I find the Subi Saver fender lips are actually further in than the original quarter panel. It's just kind of the way they're pressed. But if you just leave it sticking in without rolling it up, it is very likely, you know, it could hit relatively stock wheel setups, especially if you get into lowering it. So what I've done is I've rolled it all up here so that we can keep it nice and clean and we don't have to worry about cracking our nice paint or our nice bodywork. Back with the STI here, we've begun to smooth out our welds here, so it's starting to shape up. We got the rockers all smoothed out and everything all seam sealed, so it's all filled in there and along the well. Then on to the other side here, everything looking good. Then our front's all filled in, looking good. Now our next step is to put the fenders back on. And the reason we need to do that is we're going to fit the skirts and drill all the holes for the skirts. Then we can take it down off the hoist and focus on the rest of the body as far as dents and dings. All right, now we're getting into the rocker guard here. So again, we seam sealed yesterday. So we got all our rocker attachment there, our rear plates we put in, the end cap, and any wheel well patching. So the other end cap, and then up into the wheel well, and then our gas filler neck repair there. So now I'm gonna go along and spray all the bottom here so this looks nice. Then we can put those plates back on, then we can take the car off the hoist and resume on the rest of the body. We have most of the body work all done on the Impreza Sty here. Now we're ready to blast this in some epoxy filler primer. So we'll cut back after she's all sprayed and Cole's gonna be the one priming it. Are you pumped?
Let's do it.
All right, here we are back with the car all primed, everything looking good. This is a bit of a unique primer color here. It's our gray and our black mixed together. There was no purposeful reason for doing this other than it just happened. And it's actually a pretty sweet color, super cool. Might just clear coat this. Yeah, we got a handful of dents that slipped through. This was a bit of an unusual body to start with, so it was a bit of a challenge getting everything and trying to level out the field on this car, but otherwise all the stuff we did does look really good. So we're gonna do a few touch-ups here and there and work our way through the rest of the parts and get this thing ready for some paint. Here we are, we've almost made our way through all the blocking of this car. It has been a lot. This was very rough under the filler primer here, so it was quite a bit to get it uniform, but we are making our way through it. Almost ready to take the doors off, get it in the booth, masked up, and paint her up. Alright, so this guy's actually letting me surprise him with the paint color. What do you guys think? World Rally Blue, Obsidian Black Pearl. Alright, with the car all in the epoxy sealer primer, guess what? It's time to paint. So here we go. Let's see what color we're gonna end up going with here.